Okay, so get ready for a deep dive today, because we're stepping right into the world of Chinese high school life.
Yeah, into the deep end.
Exactly, right into the thick of it with Chapter 1 of The Only One.
It's a fictional story.
It is, and it really just throws us right into what it's like to be the new kid on the block in a really, really competitive school environment.
You know, it's interesting, though, because while this is a very specific cultural setting that we're looking at,
Yeah.
there's something so universal about the anxieties that the author really brings out. You
Yeah.
know those first-day jitters that everyone gets?
Oh, yeah,
The rumor mill churning?
totally.
That's something most of us can relate to no matter where we went to school.
Yeah, it's like the author took that feeling of the first day of school and just like cranked it up to 11.
Exactly.
Like you can practically feel it. You can hear the cicadas buzzing. It's a sweltering summer day.
Yeah.
And the story starts right there in the classroom. But they're not talking about pop quizzes.
Right.
They're whispering about this new transfer student.
It's such a great way to just set the stage. You know,
Yeah.
you have this almost suffocating sense of anticipation, and it highlights just how much even the smallest things become a huge deal in this kind of pressure cooker environment.
Yes, and into this pressure cooker walks Sheng Wang, our main character.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. He does not seem fazed at all
No.
by the whispers or the stares.
Right.
In fact, he's too busy fielding calls from his overbearing dad, making sarcastic jokes to the school staff.
Yeah.
And he's just totally detached from the chaos around him.
Yeah. It's really clever how the author does this, I think, because right away we get a sense of who Sheng Wang is.
Yeah,
This is not your typical nervous transfer student.
right.
He's quick-witted, a little cynical, and you kind of get the feeling that he's seen it all before.
Totally. And we quickly learn why, because as it turns out, Sheng Wang has transferred schools multiple times because of his dad's job.
Oh,
Can you imagine
that's tough.
having to constantly start over, like adjust to new faces, new routines?
Yeah.
It's not surprising he's built up this like armor-plated personality.
Yeah, you start to think about what that kind of transience does to a person, especially as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like he's learned to not get too attached to people or places because it's all temporary anyway.
Right. It's kind of sad when you think about it,
It is.
but also really intriguing.
It is.
It's like, how is someone like that going to handle this already insane new school environment,
Right.
especially one as competitive as this? And that brings us to his first official encounter at the school, which is with the head of the political education office.
Oh, boy.
I know, right? So, when I hear political education office, I'm not exactly picturing like a warm welcome basket and a friendly face.
Right. It sounds a little intense.
Yeah, not exactly where you'd expect a soft landing.
No, not at all.
And yet the head of this office, a director, well, he's the opposite.
Okay.
He's well-meaning, a little awkward,
Yeah.
like almost seems out of place in this cutthroat environment.
It sounds like he's trying so hard.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like he's going out of his way to put Sheng Wang at ease,
Mm-hmm.
even saying something like, oh, the curriculum here, it might just be slightly different.
Slightly different.
Yeah, right. But then he just drops this bomb about their special class system.
Uh-oh.
And it hits you just how not so subtle the intensity really is.
So what is this special class system?
Okay, so basically
Mm.
2 major exams. These things dictate everything.
Okay.
Score high enough, you get catapulted to the elite class A.
Oh, wow.
Anything less, well,
Yeah.
you're stuck in class B.
It's like a whole caste system.
Seriously, it's like a dystopian novel where your grades literally determine your whole social standing.
Oh, gosh.
The pressure must be insane.
Yeah. Can you imagine knowing that one test could basically make or break your future?
No way. And it makes you wonder, what's the point of education in a system like that?
Yeah.
Is it about actually learning or just becoming like a grade-obsessed robot?
Right. Are they trying to nurture well-rounded people or just ruthless competitors?
Totally. And what about the kids who don't make it to the glory of Class A?
Yeah.
Where do they fit in?
Yeah. What happens to them?
So many questions. But before we go full philosophy professor on this whole cutthroat system thing,
Right.
we have to talk about Sheng Wang's reaction to the school's Wall of Honor,
Oh, yeah.
because it is priceless.
What does he do?
So he compares it to a wanted poster.
Oh, my gosh. He did not.
I know. It's so Sheng Wang, though, right?
Yeah.
Finding humor in the weirdest situations.
It's like his superpower.
Totally, like a defense mechanism against how ridiculous it all is.
Yeah, and that coping mechanism, it really tells you something about him.
Totally.
Like, this guy's observant, quick-witted.
Yeah.
Not someone who's going to be impressed by a bunch of academic showboating.
For sure. But even with his jokes, there's this one name that seems to get under his skin.
Oh, really?
Jiang Tian.
Yeah, I was wondering about him because his name is plastered all over that wall of honor.
Right. It's like the author is setting him up as this rival to Sheng Wang from the get-go.
Oh, interesting.
Someone who represents everything this pressure cooker school worships.
I see.
And the way Sheng Wang reacts, you can tell there's history. There's some kind of tension brewing, even though they haven't even met yet.
Really?
Yeah, it's like this little seed of conflict planted right there on page 1.
And what happens?
Okay, so get this. Director Zhu,
Yeah.
with the best of intentions, bless his heart,
Okay.
decides that Jiang Tian would be the perfect study partner for Sheng Wang.
Wait, what?
I know, right? Talk about awkward.
Oh, no.
Like, the universe is playing a prank, forcing these two together, even though Sheng Wang clearly wants nothing to do with this guy.
You can practically hear the dramatic music playing.
Seriously, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife.
Right.
So you got Sheng Wang stuck in this crazy competitive school, sitting next to the one person who just rubs him the wrong way.
I know. It's like the calm before the storm.
Right.
You have Sheng Wang with his quick wit and his kind of standoffish personality, and then you drop him right into the path of Jiang Tian, this like academic rock star.
Exactly. And you can't help but wonder, is this going to light a fire under Sheng Wang?
Right.
Or is he going to totally clam up?
Yeah.
It's like, will he rise to the challenge or just retreat further into his shell?
Exactly.
And the way the author leaves it hanging like that,
Yeah.
it's just brilliant.
It is. You really don't know what's going to happen.
No clue. Will he lean into the humor? Will he get sucked into this competition he pretends to hate?
And don't forget about his family situation.
Oh, right.
He's got a dad who seems way more focused on his career than on giving his kid a stable life.
Oh, yeah. Poor Sheng Wang.
It makes you wonder how much of his whole I don't care act is because he's constantly being uprooted.
That's a really good point.
Like he just doesn't let himself get attached to anything because he knows it'll just change again.
It's kind of heartbreaking.
It is.
But it's also what makes this story feel so real.
Oh, absolutely.
This need to fit in, this pressure to achieve this search for who you are.
Exactly. Those are things everyone goes through no matter where they grow up.
Totally. It's like,
Yeah.
even though this story takes place in a Chinese high school,
Yeah.
it makes you think about your own life.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been that new kid feeling lost and out of place comparing ourselves to everyone else.
It's that universal experience of just trying to figure things out.
And I think that's why these kinds of stories are so powerful, even in a world that's obsessed with technology and information.
Right.
It's those human moments of connection and struggle that really stay with you.
Absolutely. So as we finish up this deep dive into The Only One,
Yeah.
it really leaves you with a lot to think about.
It does. Like, how do we handle these pressure cooker situations?
Right.
Whether it's at school, at work, even in our own families.
It's a question we all face at some point.
It is. And how do we hold on to ourselves when it feels like everything is changing around us?
It's about finding that balance.
Exactly. And maybe that's what this whole story is really about.
Maybe it is finding your place in the chaos.
And who knows, maybe Sheng Wang will figure it out too.
Well, I'll have to keep reading to find out.
That's right. So, until next time, keep exploring those deep dives and keep those